I'm Rebecca.
And I'm Hunter, and this is the
Family Showdown! Hello, and welcome back to another wild and wacky Tuesday. Happy summer, all. Well, Northern Hemisphere.
Yeah. Technically not summer yet.
Close enough. It's summer. School's out. Woo!
Hi, everyone.
Hey, Cora Lou.
All right,
Nice to see you
folks.
pop in.
So tonight is a special variety show evening.
Because all of them are special.
Anyway, we're going to be mostly talking about Board Game Geek Spring. BGG Spring convention was just yesterday.
Hey,
It ended yesterday. So we're mostly going to focus on talking about the convention, the games we played, and all sorts of stuff about the convention. So that's probably going to be the bulk of the show, if not all of the show. So, you don't care about BGG Spring? Well, maybe you care about the games we played.
Because there's quite a variety.
We played, yeah.
It's pretty awesome. Any of you go to BGG?
BGG Spring.
Pop in and say hey.
All right.
Saw a few of you.
So
out in the
we
wild.
did see a smattering of folks.
Saw David and Amanda again. Haven't seen them in forever. It was really awesome. And the sneaky ninja guy that came up and took a picture, I caught his name tag. It was Calvin. I saw you, Calvin.
Calvin?
Yes. And let's see, Tommy, of course. Lorenzo.
Il Magnifico.
Il Magnifico. Didn't get to catch a game with Lorenzo or David and Amanda, though. But it was cool to see them. I just haven't seen them in, it seems like, forever. So that was really awesome. I'm trying to think of who else saw it. Saw random people in the wilds in the middle of games and stuff, too. That,
your gamer, teacher, friend, kid, student, team, parents, person.
Yes, that's true, too. That you can follow that trail. But yeah, that's cool. 2 more weeks of school. Oh, Eric, I'm so sorry. Goodness. Hang in there. Hang in there.
All right.
2 more weeks.
So if you don't know, Board Game Geek Spring is the smaller convention. The main Board Game Geek convention is in the fall.
This is the family.
This is the family oriented. But I did a little research. There was about 1,700-ish people there.
Nice.
Only 100 of those were children.
Really?
So they call it.
But they seem to be
That's
everywhere.
That's why they took the family out of it. It used to be called BGG Family.
Oh, okay.
They changed it to BGG Spring because it's majority of just.
But the kids were like everywhere.
You just notice them more.
They do make themselves
So
notice.
1 out of every 16, 17 people were kids.
But that's still way higher than it would be.
But you also got to
fall.
think that teenagers, once they get to, I forget what the age is, 13, 14, somewhere in there, they switch over to the adult tickets. So they're
Oh, okay. So you're not even counting teenagers.
No, it's just
because there's a
kids.
ton of teenagers there.
Well,
a ton of teenagers there.
That's true. Maybe.
So, okay. That makes me feel a little better because I was like, no.
So it's about half to a third the size of the main Board Game Geek convention that's in the fall. Very few vendors. That's not the focus. Most of the focus of this convention is just playing games. In the fall, there's a much bigger vendor presence. There's a lot more activities and things going on. This is more just about gaming with family and friends. So which is fine.
It's fun. It's fun. We don't get to play as many games with other people during this con because we're playing stuff with the kiddos more. But
so that's what else do you want to talk about?
Wild, it's greatness.
What else do we want to talk about? It's in Dallas DFW Airport. It's actually a hotel within the airport itself is where the convention's held. The one in the fall has moved to another hotel, a larger hotel downtown, a massive hotel, because they've grown in size. Well,
they've outgrown that hotel.
Discounting COVID, they've grown in size.
Yeah.
But the thing about BGG Spring is they reduced the number of gaming areas, so it feels almost as crowded as the main convention does.
It was hard to find tables a few times.
I think the main convention in the new hotel feels less crowded than this convention does in the old hotel, in my opinion.
I could see that. I could totally see that.
It's just that there's...
Well, and just, I don't know, the location is so weird because the DFW airport is ginormous. I think they said it's about the size of Manhattan, if that gives you some kind of like mind-blowing facts. So the hotel's in that, and you have to like drive into the arena circus that is the airport and figure out which road and screwy turns and stuff to take to get to the airport, in and out. and there's toll tags to deal with and all that kind of nonsense because you're going into an airport area. Oh, so there's that. But the other location I think is much easier to get to and in and out of.
It's downtown. They have lots of parking.
Yeah,
it's a very centralized. It's downtown Dallas.
But the hotel itself is nice.
Yeah, it's
I love the
amazing hotel.
Yeah.
So Corley asked about the cons. There's actually 3 conventions. There's
the
BGG Spring usually around Memorial Day weekend for the U.S. That the last weekend in May, around that time. There's one in the fall. It's usually the second or third week in November.
It's usually right before Thanksgiving.
And then there's BGG at Sea, which they hold every year sometime during the summer.
Yeah,
It just
on
depends.
a cruise.
It just depends on when it happens. It's a cruise.
Yep.
Very, very much like the Dice Tower cruise, except the Dice Tower cruise has a lot more shows and things with the Dice Tower crew, whereas
BGG
is all about gaming. There's not, I don't even know if they do any shows or anything. I don't think they do any. It's just like the convention. The Board Game Geek conventions are very gaming oriented, not shows and activities and things. They're very much playing games with people. So,
although they did a lot of the side excursion stuff, remember?
Yeah.
So BGG does more like side excursion things, like they'll
host,
the one we went on
host things,
yeah, they host stuff. So they'll be like, we did the BGG at Sea Alaska cruise, and they did like, if you went to the salmon bake thing that went off in like Juneau, then you got a certain board game with it. You rode with them on the little train that went up into Canada and back. Then they had a little game with that. Like they host some of the side excursions. It's more about like the cruising and gaming while you're on the cruise, so to speak,
but
than
not doing stuff
doing
on
like
the cruise.
on the I don't know
weird.
it's more about going out and adventuring kind of thing. So it's fun. I loved that cruise. That was a lot of fun.
Yep. So
A lot of fun.
we brought the kiddos to the convention. The younger kiddo played a lot of games. Like if we'll get into discussion of this, if you consider Dexterity games.
Yes, they are. Oh my gosh.
The older child played exactly 0 games because they're now a teenager and they don't play games.
Yes, they hung out with friends.
Yes,
that
they
were
mostly
also
hung out.
board gamers.
They
that
hung out with
play
friends
games.
and shopped and goofed around and didn't play board games. Well, that's whatever floats their boat. All right, so that's it. Anything else you want to add about the convention?
No, but if you're like diving in for a first time like into BGG, I think that this one is a great one because of its smaller size. Just so it's a lot easier. I saw this time like a lot more people jumping in and out of games and stuff, and finding people in the fall. It's kind of harder to get into games, it seems like. But it seemed much more friendly and accommodating, and people had the teachers wanted and players wanted, and I actually saw people engaging with them a lot when we were out on the floor, which is really cool because sometimes some conventions are very cliquey and it's really hard to get
the one in the
into
fall,
a game group, right?
For the most part, people bring the people they're going to game with.
A lot,
for the most part.
It seems like it, yeah.
Which is the exact opposite of Dice Tower Con, which is all about.
They're like, mingle!
Yeah, everyone just jumps in and out of games and gets people and grabs people, and it's a completely different atmosphere. Board Game Geek is about let's game with the people that we normally game with for the most part.
But Spring's not like that. It's
no,
very
not
much
as much
more. Yeah, and it was great. It was great, and they have a lot of side activities for the kiddos to kind of. They had like a kids room.
They have a kids room with a bunch of just junk they can do. Like they have like boxes of Heroscape, is that what it's called? The terrain to build giant. They build these giant terrains with the stuff, and have Legos, and they have just kids stuff set up, activities and things like that. So it's a good one. I enjoy it. It's fun.
Oh, Corley. Yeah, if you're looking for something like that and you're going solo, Dice Tower Con's great for that.
Dice Tower Retreat is even better. If you can get in on Dice Tower Retreat,
because it's even smaller group.
That's like 200 people, and everyone is jumping in and out of games.
You play with like half the people there before you're done. It's really amazing. So, and you don't have to be like super outgoing or anything.
Because a lot of times, I mean, it's like at Board Game Geek, a lot of times you see people milling about, like not knowing what to do and kind of lost and looking for something to do. In Dice Tower, you almost never see people doing that.
Because even if you're browsing too long, like usually one of the Dice Tower people's like will snag you and be like, hey, play a game, or hey, you want to try this? Or like, you know, you usually don't get to linger too long without somebody like oh, come try this, you know. So that's good. So yeah, you don't, and I know I don't act that, but I get very exhausted after a while hanging out with people a lot, and so it's kind of nice to know that you don't have to be like, hey, I want to play a game, you know, or something like that, and you don't have to get in people's faces and stuff. It's really nice.
All right.
So convention season, let's go.
So we are counting dexterity games as games.
Yes, they're games.
All right, then I played. I don't know how many you played. You can comment as we go.
Okay, and then I have a question.
We played 24 games. Is that right?
I thought you pre-counted this.
24. That's right. 24 games.
Nice.
24 games. I was going to put them in categories, but of dexterity games and board games and other games. But Rebecca says they're all games.
They are all games.
So I'm going to rank them all together.
Don't listen to the hater. All right. So just so you know, I'm writing it down so we don't forget. But Hidden Keep wants to know about the rundown of your thought process of the reorganization of the wall of insanity behind us.
Okay.
Well, in the whole room, really.
Mostly
this.
I'll give you a quick rundown.
Either before or after. Yeah.
Towards the end, remind me, and I'll give a quick rundown.
Okay, I'm writing it down.
It's very similar to what I had before, but I'll let you know.
A little more refined.
All right, let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do this thing right here. This button.
All right, you guys, we played some games. All
right.
A wide variety of games.
So let me get the puppy real quick.
Oh, I was going to get the puppy since you were talking.
What are you doing?
So
you got to tell everybody hi if you're going to interrupt.
Board Game Geek has a dexterity area where it's just the whole big giant stretch row area of dexterity games, and they're like the big wooden clunky, big chunky dexterity games. And Nessa basically started at one end and played almost all of them all the way to the other end.
It's greatness.
There's about 20 of them, and we played almost half of them at least.
Oh, at least.
And
that's with
so
me.
those are going to be scattered throughout this list, mostly towards the bottom because they're dexterity games. All right, so 2 games I rated a 3. A 3, which is for me means it was horrible. 2 games I rated a 3. To get to my buttons.
So this is not even in the meh range. This is below
This is the
meh.
not very good range. All right, here we go. There's the 2 games I rated a 3.
Oh, Bamboleo.
Bamboleo, we picked up 1 piece and it fell over. Both times we played. So Bamboleo, it's actually called Maxi Bamboleo is the one they have because it's even bigger.
Ginormous.
So it's big. It's like this big platform with a little kind of spiky thing poking up from under it. No, actually, it's a cork ball. It sits on top of a cork ball, this big platform, and then you put all these wooden pieces around it. So basically, you take the platform, you load all the wooden pieces on it, then you take it and lift it and put it on the cork, the big giant cork ball thing, and you balance it.
That was Hunter's favorite part.
And that's the only thing I liked about the game. So then what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to take a piece off. Basically, you say, okay, I'm going to take off 1 or 2 pieces. You have to say before you start. And you take a piece off and you put it aside. And basically it goes around and around and around until it falls over. And then the person before it, no, actually, whoever has the most pieces wins. And the person that knocks it over loses 5 pieces or 4 pieces or something. So this is what proceeded to happen. The first time we played, I think it was Nessa or was it me? Someone took 1 piece off and it fell over instantly, like immediately fell over. So we reloaded it and moved them more towards the middle because apparently the ones in the middle don't obviously make it less doing this stuff if you put them all towards the middle. So we moved them all towards the middle, and Nessa took off 2 pieces. Rebecca took off a piece, and then I took off a piece and it fell over.
Yep.
Thusly, it gets a 3. Apparently, we're either horrible at this game, or we don't know what we're doing, or both. So that's the Maxi Bamboleo game.
Above.
The next to it is one of the Kinder Spiel nominees. It's Ach Jean Clever, which means kids clever. That's clever kids. I don't know. It means something in German. Someone in German tell me what it means. That's clever.
Dear Lord.
The game for kids. It was I hated That's So Clever, or I'm So Clever, or whatever it's called. I hate this even more. So I hated that game, and now this kids game's even worse. But it's a kids game.
I didn't think it was
So,
that bad.
For
but-
kids, I give it a 5. And the reason I give it a 5 for kids is because it's okay, but there's rounds where basically if you ever played this game, it's a roll and write. You roll dice. The main person who rolled the dice gets to pick some dice and mark off some stuff, and then everyone else gets to pick something, right? Same concept, except it's much more simplified. There's not as much combos and things like that you're doing. But there's many times where the main player gets something and then the other players don't get anything because it just works out that they can't mark anything off. That's horrible for kids. You should that I would be so. It's like, hey, I get to mark off all this stuff. You get nothing.
Hey, you know what? That's life. Deal with it, children.
It is life, but that's not life for a kid's game. There should be some rule that if you don't get anything, you get to mark off one thing.
Game of Hard Knocks.
So
You'll like it.
And I don't think I can't think of very many children that will roll dice and mark things on a piece of paper and think that's fun. What kid is going? Okay, there's probably kids out there that would like that, but no.
I mean, Nessa likes Sudoku.
That's
Not rolling dice.
But rolling dice and marking things off, I don't know. I don't like it as an adult. I would despise it as a kid.
Oh, I can imagine Little Hunter being quite obnoxious,
Like rip
actually.
that paper up and throw it in there.
And getting your butt beat. Yep, that's it. Yeah.
So those are I rate both those a 3, but for the kids game, I would give it a 5 for kids. So it's for kids. All right, and that's one of the Kenner Spiel.
Ach is also. There you go.
My least favorite of the Kenner Spiel games. So let's move on to the next section. The ones I rated a 4. There's 3 of them.
Oh yeah, baby! I forgot about that one.
So this one here, it's called. I think it's called. I can't even read what that says. Can you read what that says?
I can't remember the name of it. I'll look.
Well, no, the name of the game is called Staxis. It's called something else. Like I can't even read what that says.
Oh, it's too far away.
Go over and see what it says. But anyway, it's called Staxis. Is the one we played. It also is known as whatever that box says.
Entropy.
Entropy. It's also known as entropy. And all this is a stick stacking game. So basically you have this little structure made of sticks, and then you're laying sticks all over the structure, and you end up with this big giant structure of sticks.
It was crazy.
And have you ever played pickup sticks when you were a kid? How exciting was that?
That is different. This was much more precarious and exciting because it's in the air and it's.
I won't say I threw the game, but I may have thrown the game.
Can't imagine.
It was boring. That game was just boring.
That's because we're all so good.
Is it? Boring. So boring. Anyway, it's just a dexterity game where you're stacking sticks over, and basically roll a die, and either your stick has to touch one other stick or 2 other sticks. And I guess if you're really good, you build this giant, big structure of doom with the sticks. But I knocked it over after about 10 minutes of nonsense.
It wasn't that long.
It was.
Oh my goodness. Did he flip the table? He would have.
All right, so the next one over here, this one in the middle is Magic Mountain, another one of the Kenner Spiel games. This one is Plinko the game. So basically you have, you are a group of wizards, maybe something, I don't know, wizard apprentices or something. And you're basically racing down the mountain.
Avoiding witches.
Racing down the mountains, and there's evil witches that are chasing you or trying to get down the mountain first. I don't know. Anyway, you're both racing down the mountains, the evil witches and you. So you basically have this little marble, different color marbles, and you drop it at the top, and it does this Plinko thing, and anything it hits, it moves along the path down the mountain. So you want to hit your characters, and you want to not hit the witches. And it's a co-op game, which right off the bat is not in my wheelhouse. Kids co-op, oh my gosh. But I will say this. It is more interesting than rolling dice and marking things on a piece of paper.
I'm gonna have to disagree.
It is more interesting.
Even Nessa says this is more like an activity, and I don't like
it's
it. Dad.
It's more fun than rolling dice and marking.
And she was shocked that you liked this better than the clever.
I
game.
like this one.
Nessa liked
better.
the other one better.
I gave it a
this.
4. It's a 3 and a 4. They're in the same.
Doesn't
time zone.
matter. This one, Nessa specifically was shocked that you put it higher.
I give this one. I give this one
right better.
I give this one a 6.5 for kids because you're rolling marbles down a plinko board. That's all. That's more fun than anyway. Any kid thinks rolling dice and marking things on a piece of paper. It's more fun than a plinko board. Is not. I don't want to hang out with that kid.
Your own daughter.
My own daughter. So that's Magic Mountain. My second favorite.
Which would you recommend someone pick up out of the classics? Bruges, Goa, or Firenze?
Depends on what you want to play, really.
Yeah.
Goa is kind of a super Euro-y. Lorenzo's super Euro-y. They're all Euro-y. I would probably say if you like, Lorenzo feels more modern than the other two. If you want something that kind of feels more refined, then I would say Lorenzo.
Lorenzo? You mean Firenze?
Lorenzo.
Bruges, Goa, or Firenze?
Yeah, Bruges. Oh. Where did I get Lorenzo?
I don't know. That's why I'm asking you.
Oh, of those, it's probably Bruges then. Bruges by far. I don't know where I heard Lorenzo. Back to what I was talking about. So over here on the side, this one here, that's Trogdor the Burninator.
I can't believe this is a tragedy, a ridiculous. I am revolting against this judgment upon this magnificent,
Trogdor
majestic game.
All right, let's talk with just me and you right now. We're gonna let Rebecca just sit here for a moment. Trogdor is a piece of junk.
How dare you, sir? How dare you?
It's cooperative. It's crazy random. It is.
You're burninating. Who plans a burnination? You should know going into this game.
It does have
that it is going to be random, and that is.
The game was so bad. It was so bad.
Strong Bad's art is in it.
It was so bad.
Strong Bad is not.
It was so bad.
They don't have the characters in it per se. They have their Trogdors in it.
I guess if you go in it with this just goofy,
you know it's Trogdor.
But I never go into games going,
Well, there's your problem. There's your problem.
Why don't you talk about it since you like it so much?
Okay, listen. You know it's built off of ridiculousness. Therefore, the game is nothing but ridiculousness. If you understand that, like some people should, context is important here, then you're going to have a wonderful, rollicking good time burninating villages. However, if you think that you're looking for a game with any sort of depth
or any sort of decision making or any sort of fun.
That's not what this is about. This is about
fun, that's for sure.
And the pieces are hilarious. They're great.
The pieces are hilarious. The theme is hilarious. The game is horrible.
The minis, the peasants, have a little fire hat you put on them when you burninate a peasant. It's amazing, okay? And then they go crazy and they run in like this zigzaggy pattern and they set things on fire as they run around. Okay, all you're doing is trying to burninate things within a certain time frame before like the knights attack you, and there's some archers that go after you too. There's kind of like some program movement bots going around the board.
Random bots rolling around attacking you.
Exactly, because you're a random dragon randomly burninating the countryside. There is nothing about this that says, hey, this is the strategic game of the year. You're not going to see that. But if you want majesty and consummate V's and burninating, this is your game, and it's amazing. I loved the piece.
So what would you rate it?
I would rate this a 6.5. I loved it.
I think it's 4. It's not that much lower.
Oh my gosh, you're so wrong. It's fun. It's hilarious. It's not one of those you're going to play all the time or anything, but for the experience, for the Trogdor immersion, it's a great game. It's a great game. Don't listen to the haters. Just saying.
I probably enjoyed the game most just by reading the stuff. The game itself was just...
You know what, Eric? We had Trogdor quit in a fiery rage as well. And that's how, yeah.
We didn't win, though.
No, we were like...
We had like 4 tiles that weren't burninated.
Because somebody was trying to be too strategic about this game. It's magical.
All right, let's move on to games that I like slightly more, but they're still not...
The fire hats are amazing, yes. The fire hats are amazing.
This is Tommy in the chat because he's about to cry because my Let's see, what number we
Yes,
at?
Tommy's here.
My number
was here.
19. So that was 24.
Oh no, what are you gonna do?
That was 22,
Oh.
21, 20. Number
knows this is
19 is Scout.
Of course. Wait a minute. You put this above Trogdor?
Yes.
What is wrong with you?
Trogdor was bad.
Scout's bad.
Scout. No, here's Scout. Scout is like, I give it a 4.5.
No. You heard me.
Scout has potential. That's why it gets the half point above Trogdor. So we played Scout 3 players. It's garbage 3 players. Never play it 3 players because it's crap 3 players. The scoring system is crap. Everything about this game is crap. No, not everything. The actual game itself, the actual gameplay itself of basically Scout is a ladder climbing, card shedding type game. You have a hand of cards. You have to keep in order, which already makes me cranky because I don't like games where you have to keep cards in order because I want to set my cards down and rearrange my cards. And I like all my cards in numerical order or same colors or something. But no, you can't rearrange your cards, so you leave them how they are. And then you're basically playing a card to the table, a number, and then the next person has to beat it or get sets or longer, more cards, and it goes around and around and around, and magic happens, right? We played 1 round, and Tommy put down a thing, and no one could beat it, and we would have got a bazillion negative points, and I said, I'm done with the game. Yeah, I didn't like Scout at all, but
No interest.
If you like,
If you play it 5
paid me
player
money, I would play this with the full player count.
with the full player count.
One time.
That's the only way I would consider it.
No, literally, Tommy, the first hand in the first round, I guess you played 3 rounds. 1 round was done the first go around. It should go around about probably 15 or 20 times. It went down 1 time, and Tommy won
Crashed.
the hand, and we would have got a bazillion negative points, and the game was basically over at that point.
Lorenzo's right. It feels like Phase 10 or Bonanza, except I like Bonanza.
I hate Bonanza.
And I would even tolerate Phase 10 before I play Scout.
No,
There
there's
you
going to
go.
be people that
There
are
you
going to
go.
love this
There you
game
go.
because there's people that love Teach You and ladder climbing and trick taking and junk like
To
that.
be fair, at the full player count, it's probably not that bad. But
even at the full player
don't
count,
say it plays well 2 player and 3 player when it stinks like that. That's my beef.
the same thing that happened in a 3-player game could happen in a larger player game too.
Yeah.
If you happen to get a bunch of the same cards next to each other in your hand, and people can't do anything about it, then you're going to score a bazillion points. The scoring system is broken in this game.
Yeah.
But I didn't like it. But I see the potential. I see that there's people that are going to like this game. That's why it's slightly better than the horrific Trogdor.
Trogdor should be a Spiel winner.
Needless to say, this is my least favorite of the Spiel nominee games. This is one of the ones that was nominated for the Spiel, my least favorite. All right, let's move on to my number, that's what, 18?
See, I don't hate Phase 10 either, Xeris. I know.
Ugh.
Hot takes. We're full of the hot takes, you and me, Xeris.
18. 18 is, I give this one a 5. We're up to 5s, so they're almost playable. Can't see it, but this is La Passe Trappe.
This is such a good game. I liked this game a lot.
What?
Isn't this the
Fast Track.
This isn't the never
This
mind.
is Fast Track.
Oh, yeah, this
you
was
play
giant-
Fast. It's the one
it's
where
giant Fast
where
Track.
you have a
If I'm not playing you, I like
there's
this
2
game.
halves of board. There's there's a wall between it, and there's a little gap in the wall, and you basically pull these discs back and hit a rubber band, and you're trying to shoot them through the little hole, and you're trying to get all your discs on the other player's side before they get all their discs on your side.
And you can
so
shoot.
you just go like
Oh,
crazy.
it's crazy. It's
And
insane.
I'm like all pro at this game.
You are.
I would go to the national championships.
You
in this
probably
game.
could.
No, not that good.
Well, you're better than me. I'm passable at it until I get against you. I always end up playing him in the elimination.
I don't know
family
French, but I
elimination.
think it means the secret passage or something like that. Is what it means.
Passe trap
Yeah. Secret passage.
passage.
The trap door. The
It's like-
trapdoor
it's gotta be
passage or
like-
something like that.
Yeah, it's like
Trapdoor passage, passing the trapdoor,
Trap
going
pass.
through the trapdoor. I don't know.
I-
It's called fast tracks in the U.S. So
it's got a totally different name in the US.
all right. So yeah, I give that a 5. It's fun.
It was fun to play the
it's
giant
fun.
one.
It's fun.
And I like it in the giant one almost.
I just like
better
the
than
big
little
clunky
one.
disc, firing those big clunky discs.
Oh my
at
gosh,
each
it's
other.
ridiculous. I managed to find a way to flip them in the air, which I don't think you're supposed to do.
I don't think they're supposed to do that either. I
Leave
guess
it
if
to
you
me
hit the
to find
rubber
out.
band just right, it'll cause
Yeah,
the
it
disc to
launches it.
flip.
It's greatness.
All right, let's move on to another dexterity game. I rate it 5 as well. This is Volta. Remember Volta? It's a jousting game.
Oh my gosh.
So it's like there's a little it's a
game.
little circular board, and you have like a little a wooden block that has a indention cut out of it, and you put a little marble inside that indention, and you're flicking the
like a scoop
the
on top.
block and trying to knock the other person's block off
Knock your block off.
knock the block off the disc, or you can knock their marble. Basically, you're supposed to be jousters, and you're supposed to dehorse the jouster. And so you're thumping,
Team.
and if you thump too hard, then your marble, the
Rolls
inertia
out.
of your marble will cause it to fall out of your thing, and
Yep.
you lose. So you
Yep.
have to be kind of judge how hard you're gonna flick, because you don't want your marble to fall out, but you want the other person's marble to
Yep.
fall out, or you want to knock them off. So
Yep.
there's some strategy about staying in the middle of the board. Apparently, there's like people that play this like tournaments and stuff.
Wow, that's awesome.
So,
that's awesome.
It's a fun little goofy little dexterity game. I mean.
No pun included. Put Postrop in their games that replace ice hockey list. That's great.
All right, so that's Volta.
Volta's crazy. It was fun. Nessa got into that one pretty good.
Yeah, we played that.
Played a
Played
lot
that
of
a
that
couple
one.
times. All right, so moving on to another dexterity game. There's going to be lots of these down towards the bottom. But this one I give us 5.5 just because I can say, where is it? I'm running my thing. Because I can say, Jam Sumo.
Oh Lord. You guys got way into
Jam
this.
Sumo.
Way too much. This game was hilarious.
So this is another dexterity game. This one
You probably heard us playing this one.
You're flicking little dice, and there's like a little hole in the center of the board, and you're trying to flick your die into the hole. But I had more fun because it's sumo wrestling. You're supposed to knock the people out of the ring. I was trying to flick people and launch their dice across the place, and screaming "Jam Sumo" every time I did it.
Yeah, you got Nessa doing it too. So
Jam
if you
Sumo.
heard anyone screaming "Jam Sumo," it was probably him and Nessa in the game room. Oh my Lord.
I was so busy beating up on Rebecca that Nessa won this one. It's a fun little. Reminds me a lot of Kung Fu Zoo.
Yeah, the dice one. Yeah.
Except you're trying in Kung
They
Fu
don't-
Zoo, you're trying to flick other people into the
holes.
But this one, you're trying to get your own.
And what you land on also gave you certain ability. No, that was the other game.
No,
yeah,
this one basically when you get all
When
your
you
dice
get
in the
dice
hole,
in, yeah.
whatever numbers everyone else is on,
that's right.
how many
That's
points.
where points. That's what it
That's
is.
how many negative
it's-
points they get.
It's like a simplified version of Kung Fu Zoo. Yeah,
Fun
like
little
a
game.
little flip on it.
Fun little game.
It was fun. It was ridiculous.
Let's move on to another dexterity game. This one's probably one of my favorites
Is
that we
this
play.
the one?
No, it said one of my favorites. It didn't say my favorite.
Ah.
And that is Spinball.
Oh, is this that game? Oh,
So this
game.
Spinball is a
This
game where you have
game.
a ping pong ball and a little like almost a what do I want to say, a foam thing, and you're basically, if you ever pushed on a ping pong ball and put English on it, it'll roll and spin and come back to you. That's the whole basis of this game. So basically you have there's 2 holes in the center of the board, one on your side, one on the other side, and there's a wall, kind of a half wall that goes between the two. And you got to put English on the ball, and you want it to go around and around onto your opponent's side, and then come backwards into their hole. So basically, you have to do this weird English spin thing.
Oh my
English
gosh.
from
and it's
pool, if you play
so
pool.
Tricky.
So basically, you have to put reverse spin on it. It goes and it rotates and comes
It's
back.
crazy.
And if you get into their hole, you basically score a point, but they get to put a little blocker thing that a rubber blocker that blocks their scoring
you can
area.
put it in the,
and,
the
and
area.
eventually you end up with all these blockers all over the board, and it's really hard. You have to kind of do this weird bank
Yeah,
shot
it's-
thing to get it into the hole.
Oh my gosh. It's
First one to
insane.
5 wins, and there you go. That's it.
Yep.
So it's I just think I goofed around with ping pong balls and stuff where you put that
Yeah.
any kind of ball where you can put spin on it where it rolls and does that spinny thing and then comes back to you.
Nessa was getting good at it
Yeah,
before the end
yeah.
too.
She almost beat me. She caught up almost the whole
Yeah,
way.
I have to play it for a while before I get good at it. So I let them go at it for a while. Nessa loved that. I was shocked. I thought she'd get mad, but no,
She was mad at first and she couldn't get the spin
didn't
going.
know
Once
how to
she
do it.
figured it out,
yeah, she was like
did
rocking
really
it.
well.
So
So yeah, I enjoyed it. It's fun. It's a fun little game.
it's fun.
All right, let's move on to my favorite Kinder game, the one that I think is going to win the Kinder Spiel, and that is
Yep, I agree.
Quacks and Company Go to Quedlinburg. This is the kids' version of Quacks in Quedlinburg.
Yes,
And
it's
this
so cute.
and what's funny in a not funny kind of way.
You like this?
I
better?
liked this better than the other Quacks. I would play this version before I would play the regular version because this one
Fair.
doesn't have horrifically bad turns of doom.
Yeah,
This is
true.
so basically it's a
It's true.
simplified version of Quacks. If you ever played Quacks, it's just you basically are drawing things out of a bag and see what happens. It's kind of a bag building. You draw stuff out of the bag, you build up some points, you buy some more stuff to put in your bag your stuff gets better and better, and you're drawing better and better stuff out of your bags.
Yeah.
But Quacks, you could literally draw some things out of the bag and get nothing. You just bust. In this game, it's very similar. You have a bunch of stuff in your bag, but you're only drawing one thing at a time. So you draw one thing out and you do whatever it says, and it goes to the next person. So turns are like boom, 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 really quick. The turns just fly around because you're just drawing one thing out of a bag. When you bust in this game, after you draw 3 Traumkrauts, dream herbs, you draw 3 dream herbs out of the thing, you bust, but you're not really busting. That's when you go shopping. So basically, you're accumulating gems as you go through your other stuff, and then you take those gems and you purchase new things for your bag. So when you bust, you actually get to go shopping. You can, in this game, have the super bust where you just go draw 3 dream herbs in a row and you have no gems to spend.
Nessa had that happen.
I've seen it happen one time, and
Nessa.
the 2 times I played it happened one time, and Nessa ended up winning the game, even though she busted.
Had that, yep.
So it didn't completely run the game for her. So much more forgiving, much easier to play, much easier to teach, much
really
quicker
cute.
to play.
Really cute game.
Like I said, I give this one a 6. I gave Quacks a 5 because Quacks is quacky.
Zara says this is like me with My Little Scythe over Scythe. I know My Little Scythe is so cute. It's ridiculous.
I would play this.
Like this one is. This Quacks is very.
If someone
cute.
wanted to play this, I would play this. If someone wanted to play Quacks, you'd have to talk me into it. The regular Quacks.
What if I wanted to play it?
You could talk. Since you haven't ever played it, I would play it once.
See, look at that.
You would learn the error of your ways, and then we wouldn't play it. I go back to Quacks. I understand that most games of Quacks go great, but there's those times where you have your bag set up, man. You've got all these cool tokens. You're ready to rock and roll,
not for you.
And boop, 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 bust. And you're like, and then the next person goes, oh, look what I get to do. And you're supposed to laugh that off, but that's an hour-and-a-half game, and you're angry by the end of it, or at least I'm angry by the end of it. So.
Yes, less gambling. I would agree.
Yeah, if you bust in this game, it's not bad.
Really bust.
And in fact, if you play the more advanced version, when you bust, you can even get movement of your little guy. So I didn't say this, but you're a little animal guy, and you're trying to travel to Quedlinburg, and there's a little path you're moving on, and your tokens are movement points, right? Yeah. And there's even a way in the advanced game to build up your movement points, so when you bust, you actually going to get some movement out of it, even when you bust. So I think it's an improved version of the game. It plays quicker, easier to teach, less punishing. Anyway, I mean, there was adults sitting around cheering for what they were drawing out of the bag and stuff like that.
It was great. It's one of those that everybody can play.
Yep.
So. Kind of like My Little Scythe.
So I give it a 6 for adults. I give it an 8, and probably even almost a 9 for kids. 8 or 9 for kids. 8 to 9 for kids.
Yeah.
All right.
That's good. I like you.
Let's move on to the first Kenner, which is the advanced game on my list. It comes in at lucky 13. It is Cryptid.
I don't know why you don't like this game.
Because we played 3 rounds and it was over. It shouldn't be that easy.
Or just that brilliant.
Well, I'm that brilliant because I'm the one that won. But
anyway.
This is not my kind of game.
I like it.
So I gave it a 6 just because it is very rare that I like a deduction game. In fact, there's only 2 deduction games I actually enjoy quite a bit. That's Awkward Guess and Search for Planet X. Other than that, I haven't found a deduction game I want to play.
This is fun.
This is Rebecca's kind of game. This is something she would enjoy quite a bit. This is the kind of game that I would go, okay, let's play. And I would play it because she loves stuff like this. But
that would be me torturing her.
But it's not my cup of tea. I would be willing to try the advanced game once just to kind of see, because Tommy swore up and down that the advanced game is so much better and it's glorious.
I believe you. I believe you. You're such a troll. Okay, so yes, it's fun. Where's the little?
It's not my kind of. It's just not my kind of game. Just not my kind of game.
Yeah, no, it's not.
It's not my kind of game. The reason I like Awkward Guest is because there's trading, negotiation that's added to the game.
Yep.
The reason I like Planet X because there's
Spacey.
strategy. There's a lot of strategy. There's do I go and do research? Do I go to a conference? Do
Okay,
I do this
fair,
and that?
fair.
Which ones do I want to guess on and things like that. There's lots more going on. Cryptid is this your place?
Now,
Is this your place?
but from there you're
Is
supposed
this your place? Huh?
from there you're supposed to do something. You're not supposed to just randomly pick crap on the
But
board.
that's all
and
you
be
do.
like,
That's all.
Is this your place?
That's all you do, though. Am I wrong?
Yes.
Is
Okay,
this
your
place?
action is to do that, but you're
I think it's here.
just imagine playing 20 questions with him and you get the idea. No.
Is this your place?
Oh my gosh.
Is this your
Is
place?
it a rock?
Is this your
Is
place?
it not a rock?
There's not enough game
Is
there.
it a house? And be like, dude,
Not
you're
enough
running out of
game there.
questions.
Sorry. There needs
Tommy's
to be more
trying
going.
to. Tommy's like, Z likes cryptid.
Z, is this your place? Is this your place? I think it's here.
Oh, it's great. I don't listen to him. He is a hater. He's a hater.
I am a
The
hater.
cryptid's gonna come bite
I gave it a 6, which means I would play it begrudgingly. That's what a 6 is.
you. Begrudging. That's one where you're like, hot dog, let's go find this game and play it with Hunter.
Slightly better. Wait. Just
such
wait
a
for Tommy's
curmudgeon.
reaction. I can't wait for this. Slightly better than Cryptid
Oh Lord.
is
Okay.
my second favorite
Okay.
Spiel nominee, and that
Okay.
is top 10.
You know, okay, I don't know why Tommy hates on this. I find this game hysterical, and I would take this to school. I would play this with kiddos.
I had fun.
I think it's fun.
I had fun.
I
I
think
would
it's
play. I would
ridiculous.
sit and play this for,
Oh, yeah.
for hours.
Like,
'cause
I think the kids would love this one.
I give this one.
That's having fun with it.
Yeah, I gave this one a 6 as well. The only reason I gave it a 6 is because I had to sit there with Google Translate and the rule book.
You punished it because
Yes, give me English rules. I literally had to go into Google Translate and look at the thing and go, okay, what does this word mean?
okay, first get Duolingo. Play Duolingo for 6 months.
I need
And then
someone needs to, if it isn't invented already, someone needs to invent.
a universal translator. They're
No,
working on that.
but even beyond that, you just take your phone and take a picture of text and push a button and translate the text.
They're working on that.
That's what I
We're get-
needed
we're
because
actually getting
I
to
literally
that.
had to go
We're getting
through
there.
and type in German into Google Translate to figure
Your
out how to
life
play
is
this game.
So hard. So hard.
I spent like 15 minutes
I'm
typing
just saying,
in
you
Google
know,
Translate
over in Europe,
to
like
figure out how to
everybody
play a
knows like
simple.
3 languages, and we're over here going
So if you
English bad.
so top 10 is, it's kind of a social deduction party game ish. It's like if you've ever played Quelf meets social deduction. That's basically what this game is. And wavelength, just for Tommy.
Wavelength.
I'll say it's
little,
wavelength.
little touch of
So
wavelength.
basically, it says something like, you're Batman and you need a sidekick to fight a supervillain, and Robin's unavailable. Who do you bring? And then you pass out cards to people, and they have a number from 1 to 10, where 1 is the worst
it's totally
possible
stupid fun,
sidekick,
Yeah.
to 10 is the best possible sidekick. And you go around the table, and everyone says who their sidekick is based on that number. And then whoever's the captain, basically does the smallest to largest number. And if you get them all exactly right, then woo, you win. If not, you get unicorn poop or something. There's actually coins that have a unicorn and then poop on the other side.
But it's not. How do you know it's the unicorn's poop?
I assume it's the unicorn's poop. Anyway,
I figure it was Tommy
so
pooping all over
if
his
you get
game.
it all exactly right, then you get a point. If you don't, you get a minus point. And the whole goal is to try to do as well as you can. It's like any party game. You don't really need to keep score, but you can. It's hilarious.
It was just
it's
fun,
so
stupid.
funny.
Like one of them was flipping pancakes, and Nessa got like a 2, so she's like, eh.
So yeah, so it said
was
you're
amazing.
flipping like a pancake in the air.
How
Pretend you're
high does it
flipping-
go?
How high does it go? From 1 to 10. 1 is like barely goes, and 10 is like into orbit. So you know.
But everybody in the range
we had
has definite like pictures in their head, and so you have to kind of figure out. It's almost like a mind game on
Yeah.
top of it. So you know.
and if you get like 7, 8, 9, you're like, how do you judge those? But it's funny, lad, to see people like
oh yeah, this is probably more of an extroverted kind of game.
oh yeah, it's
Because
definitely
this is about being stupid. There's no 2 ways about it because we're like flipping and like
yeah.
you
One
know,
of
just being
one of them was your alarm
ridiculous.
clock is not working. How would you wake someone up from gentle to very harsh?
that Nessa was like,
It was
it was
like gently.
yeah, it was,
And mine was like, bam. And
well,
the
you
other
and
one
Tommy
was slap.
was like slapping people, and you were smacking, and I'm like, which one's worse? You know, you got to figure out which. I don't know, it was great.
You
it
can
was
see
great.
from our laughter how good this game
It was fun.
It really
fun. It was
deserves.
stupid fun.
It really deserves more than a
Well-
6. But give me English rules.
Oh my god, it is much more of an extroverted kind of game.
It
I can totally
100%.
see,
100%.
or a group that you know really well. So with that in mind, yeah, take that with a grain of
Right,
salt.
let's move on to another 6. I like slightly more than top 10.
Oh my
It's one that we bought in the Board Game Geek charity auction,
woot woot.
and it's called Money Doesn't Stink.
Oh god. And
This has been a pseudo grail game for me. Peculiar non oulette. So this is, if you're a fan of the Dice Tower, you know this is one of Sam Healy's favorite
Did
games.
you tag him yet?
Huh?
Have you tagged him yet?
No. Well,
You
I
didn't
need
tag him. You didn't.
one of his favorite games to talk about. So basically, you're running a
Yes, there was a lot of poop this weekend.
What-
Neutral.
what's it called? The Roman where the people go to poop.
The toilet.
They don't
A
have
bathroom?
They don't have a name for it. I thought it had a name for it. Anyway, basically, you're running a
Well,
bathroom that has stalls, and these nobles and people are coming in to
Lavatory. Go ahead.
coming in to use your facilities, and you're trying to rush them along as quickly as possible to make money. They're basically paying to use your
Aquatorium.
bathroom. And it's just a funny little card game. It's a take that. Basically,
Yes.
you can cause people to move into line, the back of the line. You
Yes.
can make people go. Basically, you could call a forum meeting, and all the senators have to leave the bathroom to go.
Which I'm like, dude, there's some priorities in life. But anyway,
So anyway, it's hilarious. It's a fun little economic.
amphitheater.
I don't even know what to even call this game. It's card manipulation,
Bizarre.
resource management. I won't say what the resources are, but there's resource management. Anyway, it's fun. It's a fun little take that goofy little card game. It plays super fast. It's like a half hour game.
Yeah, it's a lot of.
But I really bought it mainly for nostalgia reasons and charity reasons and hilarity reasons. Because we got to play with the expansion because they have little poops in the expansion.
Oh boy.
Pecunia non-oulette. Poop stinks.
No, it does not stink.
Oh,
That's why the
money
moth-
doesn't stink.
Money does not stink.
Money does not stink.
Yes.
All right. I gave that a 6.
Although they did put cute little like Latin like graffiti on here that I thought was cute. I like it.
It's a fun little, but it's very take thatty.
It's
very-
ridiculous
yeah.
and it's a stupid theme. Whatever.
All right, let's move on to my number. We're in the top 10, baby. Top 10. It's a dexterity game. It's one that we own, but it's too big to show off, so I'm just going to show you a picture. That is Tumbling Dice. Tumbling Dice.
Oh, the infamous
Tumbling Dice. So we played some Tumbling Dice. Rebecca is a shark at Tumbling Dice. I don't know how you haven't won like a Dice Tower World Championship yet at Tumbling Dice.
Because he has like 5,000 dice on that thing by the time it's done. That's why I'm used to playing with like 4 people.
Nessa used to be the shark. Now Rebecca's the shark. She
Because
wins.
I oversaw Nessa playing it as a shark as a toddler. This was like Nessa's first board game, and she started out by just rolling dice on it, and then
she got good
would
at
spend
it.
hours
She got
flicking dice on
really
it, like
good at it.
actually playing it, and then she became a shark for a while.
We haven't played in a long time, so she's
Yep.
lost. But it's a fun little dexterity game. Basically, you're tumbling dice down the stairs.
It's fun. It's so much
these
fun.
levels, and based on what level, how far down you get, and what the side of the dice is, you get points. So the first level is 1 point times the roll whatever numbers on your dice, and then 2, and then 3, and then 4.
Here's the trick. Here's the trick to these games. It's the same way with pitch car. You can't care about winning or not. As soon as
'Cause
I
I always
give up
care about
caring,
winning.
that's why you're not winning. As soon as I don't care, I flick it and I do it just right. As soon as I care, I get too nervous and do something stupid with it. Same thing
Yeah.
with pitch car. Every time.
There you go. Tumbling dice. I give
It's
it a
so much
7.
fun.
It's
So
a
much
fun.
fun.
It's a fun little
This
game.
is fun.
It's a fun game.
Still fun to
It's a
play.
fun game. All right, let's
So
move
much
on to another dexterity game.
I told you we're gonna learn all the dexterity games.
I
We
give
should be
this-
like write the book on best dexterity games ever.
Right, we definitely do a top 10
with
dexterity games now.
Researchers by Nessa.
All right, here we go. This one is another one we own, but it's way too big to show you. And that is Way Kick.
Oh yeah, baby.
Way Kick. So we played some Way Kick. This is the first game we played at every Board Game Geek Con.
Yep.
I mean, the spring one, not the regular one.
Spring one.
It's first game. It's always first game.
kids.
You walk in, straight to the Way Kick.
They have it
Even
right
though
down
we
their
own
content.
it and can play it anytime we want, we always beeline for the Way Kick and play some Way Kick.
Well, because they have the hockey one, and they have like.
I didn't play the hockey one. I
did.
I only played Way Kick. That's it.
Well, it's Way Kick hockey, and then there's just this Way Kick soccer thingy.
So we
Just
played
saying.
Way Kick. It's a great game. It's fun. We bought it.
It's ridiculous.
It's expensive because it's a big, giant, massive
Wooden
board of
Death.
stuff. But it's basically,
Worth
if
it.
you've ever played the air hockey game, it's very similar to that.
But with magnets, it's so
Yeah.
much fun. So much fun. It's chaotic greatness.
It's soccer. It's soccer. You have like a bunch of, and we have ones where you can play 4 players. Basically, 2 people play. Basically there's like a little dude on top, and there's a magnet underneath the board, and you're moving the magnet on the board, and it moves the guy up top. And you control 2 players and play 2 players, or you have 2 each, and you have 4 on each side and play 4 players.
Yes. Yes, Hidden Keep, this is very similar to Clask. I think Way Kick came along before it.
Yeah. Class is a very smaller one. You only have one.
Very much like a cheaper version of it.
Yeah.
Way Kick's like felted and magnetic, like the magnets are much bigger, and like the magnets are like yay big around. They're
And the
really
board,
large.
the board we have is
It's huge.
probably 4 foot by 2.5 feet.
Yeah, it's huge.
something like
We
that.
have the big one. There's also the smaller
There's
one.
a smaller one that's just for 2 players.
Yeah.
You don't have.
And they're great. They're so much fun. So yeah, if you like Clask and you want to kind of level it up, so to speak, like the Way
You can go to
Kick is
Amazon.
awesome.
They
It'll
sell-
last forever.
They sell them on Amazon.
It's such a sturdy, well-made game. Super well-made game.
Yeah, this company makes a bunch of different dexterity games, not just
Mm-hmm.
Way Kick. All right,
It's good stuff.
let's move on to
Good
my
stuff.
to my favorite
sorry.
Spiel game,
Mm-hmm.
the one that should win, but I'm hearing rumblings.
What?
Scout might win best Spiel game. But the one I like by far, and I give it
Riot.
a
I'm
7,
gonna riot. We're going to Germany.
is I gotta go switch buttons. It is Cascadia. So this is the one I think should win.
Yep, I agree.
But the way the Spiel's been running, this may be too heavy to be a Spiel game. It's not that heavy. It's it's not super light. It's a family weight game. Or family weight game. But I would not be shocked if Scout wins, but this one's my favorite by far.
Oh my gosh, I like the art. I like the theme and the idea and the implementation of just having different animals like fill out their little habitats differently, and so you have to try to make everybody all fit together. And I love that. And I love the way they did it.
It's a simple drafting game. Basically, you have a selection of tiles and tokens. So basically, there's a tile, which is your terrain paired with an animal, and you have to pick one of 4 different ones. You take the tile, you put it in your little tableau, your tile building tableau area, and then you pick your animal and put it somewhere on your terrain that it can go to. And there's rules on it, like the birds can't be next to each other, and the salmon have to be all in a row, and elk need to be in a straight line, and things like that. There's all different rules. Each animal has a stack of rules, and you pick one rule for each animal. There's 5 different animals. Super simple game. The only reason this doesn't get higher for me, I explained this to Tommy after we finished playing. It just seems like that the choices in this are always obvious to me. It's like it's one of those games where you have a selection of 4 to go from, and that's obvious the one I should take. I take that one. That's obviously the one I take. I'll take that one. It just seems like the game
For what you're doing.
It seems like the game kind of there's not a lot of strategy there. It's more tactical, and you kind of just go, oh, that's the best one. I'll take that one.
Well, yeah, it's definitely much of a short-term tactics and not a long-term
Yeah.
strategy. So
I mean,
because there is, each round you're changing up the animals. I mean,
Right.
it's not, you don't get to do long-term planning, but it's real similar to some other games out there right now too. So I think if you like to play those kinds of games that have the little puzzly
it's very
bits and stuff,
puzzly.
and I'm thinking a lot some of the polyomino kind of games. They give me the same kind of feel as some of those, except that it's just matching them up with how they're gonna fit together and stuff. So I think that might be why it's so popular too, because it does kind of have that same feel to it. Plus, it's the nature theme, which has just been
Well, I think it's
really
all-
popular, and it's got really fun, colorful pieces.
And I make it sound like a negative that the game kind of runs itself, but some people like games like that where you're not brain burning, crunching.
Yeah,
Oh my
yeah,
gosh,
no,
it's
you
like
should- yeah,
it's just like it flows. It's easy.
Mhm.
You go, oh, I'm gonna do salmon, so I'll take this salmon. Oh,
yeah,
I'll
but
do
then
elk,
you
I'll
gotta
take-
have your backup plan because someone's gonna steal your salmon.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
But
Bears.
I enjoy it. It's a good game. It just, for me, it's just like, it's like Splendor. It's kind of a mindless.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds bad, but in a lot of ways that can be good, right? Some people don't necessarily want to go
It's
into
not
a
that it's
game.
mindless, but it's just not super.
It's not crunchy. It's not
Yeah.
brain. You're not really.
But again, that's not really
It's not
Spiel
deep.
games either. So
But by
Which is
far my
funny that
favorite
that's-
of the Spiel games. But I don't think it's gonna win.
yeah,
Unfortunately,
I want it to.
Unfortunately,
I want.
I don't
it
think
to.
it's gonna win.
Go Cascadia.
All right, let's move on. Let's move on to my favorite dexterity game.
Yeah, it feels.
It's
chill.
Rebecca's
That's a good
favorite too. She loved this game. She wants to buy it, but we have to get a new house because we don't.
point. It's so true.
And that is Warlords.
This is the game I was all excited about.
Yeah.
Yes.
This
This,
is the-
game,
this
it's
is-
ginormous. Though.
I give this one a 7.5, and for a dexterity game,
That's
that's off the charts.
This was so much fun.
This game was really fun. I enjoyed
Oh
this
my
game. I would
gosh.
play this game over and over again.
Oh yeah, easily. Oh man, you have your little castles in each corner, so you can have up to 4 players, and you've got these towers, and then you've got like a courtyard below. The object is to get dice in everybody else's courtyard, and how many, whatever the dice ends up rolling into the courtyard, like if it lands on a 6, then that's 6 points of damage into their castle. And so you're flicking them and trying to get them in there. But there's fun little things like in the middle, there's this forest of pegs that you can rip up some of the trees and move them and kind of help block your castle or take away trees that blocking somebody else's castle. And if you have dice that are the same number out in the field somewhere, then you get to use this great little siege engine thing that gives you a little bit of height to flick again, because you only get to flick from the top of your castle initially, otherwise you're out on the field. So you got this little wooden siege engine. It's so cute. You put it out there and you flick again. You get to flick from a height. And there's also, we didn't play with the dragon expansion, but there's this cool little wooden dragon. You flick it from its back, and it
Kinda
kind of
launches
launches
it up
it
in
up in the
air.
air, so you can almost catapult it into over their wall instead. And oh my gosh, it's so ridiculous. And this is the one where if your dice land on a certain numbers, you get to do certain actions. You hit a 1, for example, you get to flick that exact die again, so you get to hit it twice. There's one where you land on a 3 or something, you get to hit a different die again. There's a couple that don't do anything, but most of them, I think there were 4 out of the 6 pips had special abilities or something tied with them. And
Yep.
it was ridiculous. We're flicking and squealing about it, and it is so much fun. So much fun to play.
It is really fun. It's a big lazy Susan, so you can spin the
Yeah,
board
you can
around.
actually spin it, and it was ridiculous.
We enjoyed it quite a
Ridiculous.
bit. We probably would have played it again. We just never got around to it.
Yeah.
Back to it again. But yeah, it was good. It was.
It was several rounds, so you flick all of your dice because you have 6 dice? I think it is 6 dice, and you do like 3 rounds of launching them because the round ends once somebody has all their dice in castles somewhere.
Right. And you do three rounds, I think.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
3 rounds of that, and it's
Well, one per player, one depending on the number of players.
yeah. So it was a blast.
We unknowingly played the beginner version of the game. We had walls around the edges. Normally you take the walls and don't put the walls around. So if you flick too hard, it'll go off the side.
yeah.
But
Oh, that's right. The little
we were
walls
using
in
the
picture
walls and
come
bank
off.
shotting them into each other. But it's a variant that you can play with the walls. And the
Yeah.
walls were on there, so we didn't even think about it. But,
Yeah, I didn't know they came off until
yeah, if you look
started
on the
reading it.
picture, I don't know if you can see the picture, there's little walls. There's like little walls all around the edges that you normally don't play with those. There you go. My favorite dexterity game.
so
7.5.
much fun.
Oh, I was supposed to do this. I forgot to do my halvesy dance. Anyway.
Yeah, it was. Oh my gosh, you guys, for a dexterity game, blasty blast. That's a lot of fun.
So the rest of the game, or the rest of the way, are standard board games. So that was the last of the dexterity games.
Last one is the best.
All right, let's move on to my number. We're in the top 6, folks.
Woo woo.
Number
Let's go.
6 is Stella Dixit Universe. I give this a 7.5 as well. Rebecca gives it much higher. She can talk about this one too because she loved this game.
This is, man, it's like they took Dixit and leveled it up. We traditionally like played the snot out of Dixit.
Yeah.
I played it. We got a couple of the expansion decks and just have this huge mass of cards. We even created extra little player pieces so that we could play with a larger player count because we also had so many cards and stuff. I mean, we just loved Dixit. And this one takes it and then kicks it up a level. So you have like rows of the Dixit cards, and now you get to do something with them. So it kind of takes away where you have to make something up. It gives you like kind of its own premise. And now you've got your little whiteboard, and like it'll say evening or something like that.
Right, just a one word kind
And
of
you
phrase.
can choose as many
phrase
of
or a
them as
word.
you want that make you think of evening. And you don't want to take too many, but you do want to have some. And so you're checking on here. You have like a little checklist of which ones in the grid you think match evening. And then we're going to find out. And it's another one just like Dixit where you want some people to pick you, at least one person to go with you, but not everybody, because then you can maximize your points.
Right.
So you're trying to be sort of coy, but not too coy, not blatantly obvious, but you know, I mean, it's that same Dixit balance, but they took some of the hard part away for people that have trouble just making up stuff on the fly. You don't have to worry about that anymore. And I think that that's going to lend itself to more people wanting to play this one. And and you can take all of the old Dixit cards and play it in this because it's the same cards, same size, same everything. It's just cool new art to play with. And I loved it. It was a lot of fun. The art's cool, and it's got really pretty color schemes in it. And
yeah, I mean, we used to play this Dixit back in the day, and we had like a couple different game groups we played, and some it went over really well. Other people really struggled to come up with stories, like you said, and they kind of like freeze up, like they don't know what to say and don't know what to do and don't know what card to pick.
Yeah.
This takes all that away.
Yeah.
I mean, you basically it gives
stresses off, right?
It gives you the story, and you pick which cards you think match that story, and it's super simple, straightforward.
It's great.
It takes that whole social anxiety bit for the most part. You still have to say you have to pick cards. Like I think this card is the one that did it, and then you compare it to everyone else. So there is a little bit of that interaction, but it takes out that having to come up with on the spot. Everyone's looking at you to tell us a phrase or a story, which that can turn some people off to.
Yeah, I mean, I like playing the other one too because I think it's hilarious. It's hilarious, but this is a fun mix. It would probably bring more people to it. And yeah, Cora Lou said she played it on BGA, and I would think that would be not its best environment because you're right, you're not getting that conversation and the why the heck did you pick that thing? Yeah, because you're right every time. It's like, wait, what? Where did you see that? Oh, I totally missed that part of the picture. You know, that sort of thing. Because of course, like it's like the other Dixit cards. It's got all these little weird details that some people just instantly hone in on that, and other times just, you miss it. So it's fun.
All right, let's move on.
Stella is Dixit meets Apples to Apples.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah, that's a fair way to. I think that's a great way to describe it, Eric.
Kind of,
yeah.
All right, let's move on to my last of the 7.5Zs. This would get an 8Z, but the setup was crazy. And that is Nidavellir. Nidavellir. This game, for as light as it is and easy it is, it has way too much setup. I mean, you got to take and put cards in a display, 3 different displays. You have to put the coins in this little rack. It's like I'm setting up like a shop for people to come shopping.
You kind of are, because there's also a little stadium thing to put all the coins in order.
This game had way too much setup for as light a game as it was.
Yeah.
But Rebecca said, well, it's so quick, you probably could pay it 2 or 3 times, and then you don't have to reset it up as much. But yeah, I was shocked at all the setup I had to do for this game. I'm like, really? This is like a little bidding game, and I got to do all this setup. Yeah. But it was a fun little bidding game. You're basically buying cards. You're doing secret biddings on cards. You have some coins. First, you have these 5 crappy coins, and then there's ways to upgrade those coins and get higher value coins. So there's kind of some play there. Do I use my good coins now to get good cards, or do I use those to level up and get even bigger coins with those coins? So the higher the coins you use, the higher it upgrades to. So if I get a 12 coin and I want to upgrade it, I have to use it, not use it to bid on something to get a bigger coin, but then I can't use it to bid. So when do you use your big coins to bid? And it's got some nice play, but too much setup. I mean, I'm not kidding. There's like little card racks, and you put all these little cards on 3 different racks.
Yeah.
And then there's this big
it's
display of coins.
it's
I'm
a
like,
lot.
are you serious? This is crazy. I look at the rules like
But-
I'm like,
Yeah.
it took me longer to set the game up than it did to learn to play the game.
It's true. It's true. But I will say that was kind of fun because
You didn't
this
have to
is-
set it up.
that part was awesome. But no, I wasn't even talking about that. The game it's one of those that's really well balanced. For whatever work that they put into it and making you work on setting it up, they did balance it really well because you can do some completely different tactics and still be really competitive because we had a 1 point difference
Yeah,
in our game and we played completely differently.
And what's funny is when you have like a 1 point difference, a lot of times the games are like it's 21-20. It was 297 to 296 was our scores.
It was fantastic. It was so good. It was just fun. It was crazy
It
fun.
was a
and
good
it
little
was-
game. I dinged it a little bit. Normally we give it an 8, but that setup is just too much for this simple of a game.
Yeah.
It's just way too much.
Yeah. But honestly, I mean, playing it is great. I think it might be. See, and I didn't think it was a nightmare to score. I think it was mostly the setup that was a nightmare.
The score is a lot of the scoring is kind of complicated.
But
It's a
I
lot-
guess
it's a
we've
lot.
been doing a lot of complicated
And
scoring
you-
games.
I can
lately, 'cause
I do
that
math in my
down.
head pretty quick. So
Maybe that's part of it too. I don't know.
or you just get a little calculator, use your phone calculator to add it up. But yeah, there's big scores. I mean, your
The
score.
scores are big.
Yeah,
That's for sure.
And we probably didn't do very well. You probably scores are in the 4s and 500s and stuff like
Oh, I
that.
think you could easily do that, knowing how to go into that game.
But it was a fun little game, a fun little bidding game. I mean,
Yeah.
the funnest part for me was the whole play of the coins of when to use them to bid and when to use them to upgrade and when to switch gears. There's a lot of games are like that where you at first you're doing money and then you switch to victory points. It had that same kind of feel of when do I switch to using my coins to upgrade to using them to actually
Which
bid
is
on
funny
the cards.
because you did that differently. I didn't ever really do a switch. I had my bank of coins and then I had some was just my victory point stash and I just kept trying to balance them the whole game, which, you know, I mean, it was just funny because I upgraded a coin every round. And it was just, I picked certain things to do like every time that was just different from what you did. So it was pretty crazy.
Zeros got his mega sieve.
You got
so what you
mega
need to do is we need to pick
civilizations
up. We
there.
need to go to Google Maps, pick a point between you and me that and do a weekend. And I bring like 5 friends. You bring 5 friends, and we go at it.
Fight. That sounds amazing. That sounds
The coins are cardboard. They're little. Maybe they're. I don't know how you could do metal because there's actually a display that you put them in. But maybe if you do a wooden display with metal coins. But yeah, they were just little cardboard coins. Nid.
That's so exciting.
Nid
Zeros.
Valier. How do you pronounce the AE?
You spelled it wrong. It's Nidavellir. Nidavellir.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes. It's on there. I have proof. Okay, everybody together now. Hunter, go to the eye doctor.
I'm not old. All right, let's move on to a game that I've been wanting to play for years, and I finally said I'm playing it, and I did. And I give it an 8 because it's a good little game, and that is St. Petersburg. So this is a classic from 2004. It was reprinted, redone, second edition, whatever you want to call it, in like 2014, I think. But we played the original 2004 version. It's a fun little game. I enjoyed it. It was pretty easy to teach. It was really smooth. It's just a tableau building, engine building kind of game. You have 4 different kinds of cards. So there's 4 different phases to each round. You're drafting or purchasing cards. You're putting them in your tableau, and you're getting victory points and money, and you just churn out this engine and create victory points, and it's a fun little game. It's a fun little card game. I enjoyed it. Really, the board is almost not needed in a way. It's just really just a place to put cards and a score track. But for the most part, it's a card game where you're paying money to take cards and you put them in your tableau and you make this cool engine. Some cards give you money. Some cards give you victory points. Some cards give you little special powers. It's a fun little game. I think it's, for me, it's surprising that this game is 18 years old at this point because
Yeah, it seems weird.
Felt almost like a modern game in the way it had cool little combos and and ways things worked and stuff like that. So, good little game. Good little game. Good little game.
I think you guys liked it better than I did. I'm just saying. It was all right.
You know, I would be more upset by that statement, but this is coming from the person that likes Trogdor.
You know what? Wow.
Burninate the St. Petersburg.
Oh, I'd burninate St. Petersburg before.
All right.
Okay. All right.
All right, we're to the top 3, folks.
Did it have any consummate V's? I think not. Boo.
All right. My number 3. I give this as 8 as well. I like it slightly more than St. Petersburg. Didn't it have another name? It wasn't originally St. Petersburg, was it?
Leningrad, Stalingrad.
Stalingrad, that's what it was, right?
Stalingrad, yeah.
Anyway,
I think. Well, St. Petersburg was its first name, and then it turned into Stalingrad, and then it went back to St. Petersburg. I believe it's back to St. Petersburg.
I don't. My number 3, Maglev Metro.
Boop boop.
Maglev Metro. This is a fun game.
This was a hoot. This
I want to play. I want to play this game again. It was a good game. I enjoyed it. I want to play it with more players because 2 players seems well. It just seems like there'd be more stuff going on with more players.
It wasn't enough that you won, man.
I didn't just won. I crushed.
You only by 1 turn.
Didn't really crush. I just like saying that. Anyway, Maglev Metro is a route building, pick up, deliver game. So basically, you are the base game comes with 2 maps. One is Berlin, I think, and the other is Manhattan. And basically, you're building out a subway system, and we played the Manhattan side. You're building out a subway system. You're creating these little stations all over the place, and you're building little tracks to go between the stations. And you have these cool little trains that you drive around the little tracks, and you pick up little guys, and you actually put them in your train, which is amazing. It reminds me of Life, the game of Life, where you put the little
dudes in the
cars,
cars,
little pegs in the cars.
Totally.
Put your little guys in a train, and you drive them to where they're going to go, and drop them off, and you pick up some more people and drive around. You're building stations.
Oh my gosh! But the choices you have to make on your board to be able to do more moves, because you need to be able to build more tracks, but after a while you don't want to build more tracks, so you might want to be able to adjust those. There's an ability where you can reverse your metro, and so it doesn't have to do the entire track to the end and then turn around and come back. There's just, oh my gosh, it was so stinking cool, but trying to balance that was such a bear, because you're like, robots, people, yeah.
If you just take a step back and look at it, and you just look at the board, you're like, oh, this is like a little kid's game or something, because there's all these little plastic tracks and little trains with little guys in them and stuff.
Oh, it's amazing.
But it's a really strategic game. There's a lot to think about. There's a lot to balance between what build skills do I want to improve? What do I want to switch gears and get victory stuff that gives me more victory points? You have end game scoring cards you have to worry about. There's a lot of stuff going on. It's a pretty thinky game. There's a lot to go to it.
Yeah, Coraloo, we apparently did not have replacement robots because the copper and gold were very similar.
I couldn't tell the difference unless I took them and put them in front of me and looked at them side by side. That's the only way I could tell the copper and gold apart.
And I like your solution. Was that Coraloo to put sunglasses or something on them?
Yeah, some people put dots.
That's a great idea.
Eyeballs or dots on them because if you put them side by side, you can tell. But if you take them apart and look at them,
especially depending on your lighting,
they look very different. And we played in our room, and the lighting was bad, so it was even worse. So I'd have to ask Rebecca, is that a gold or a bronze? Is that a gold or a bronze? So, but I loved it. It was fun. I want to play the Berlin map because it's supposedly plays completely different. There's actually slightly different rules for depending on what map you play, which is really cool.
I think it's cool that all is in the game too. You just flip the board over and you have a different
version. I enjoyed it quite a bit. I want to give it another try.
So. Good times.
I want to try with more players because I think there'd be more opportunities to pick up people and deliver them, because it seemed like we were basically spawning our own people and picking up our own people, and with more people going on, you got to kind of think about it. Well, this guy's going to come grab these people if I spawn them.
Well, yeah, because I was able to avoid them. Like, oh, I know you're just going to come snipe these guys, so I'm not going to pick them. I'm not going to do any. But you're not going to do that with a bunch of players. Right. No, it's true.
So it's a good one. Yeah, good one. Maglev Metro. All right, let's move on to my 2 favorites. One I haven't played and one I have played before. So the next one is the one I've played before. No, haven't played. So this is my favorite new game of the convention.
Okay.
And that is Gutenberg.
Oh my gosh, yes.
I went out and immediately
Yes.
pre-ordered this.
Yes. Yes.
I was hesitant to pre-order it because Portal Games is doing the thing, but now I already know how to play, so Portal Games can mess the rules up all they want. So, sorry, Portal Games,
No, you're not.
but the rules are rough.
Yes.
Anyway, so Gutenberg, I'll let
Oh.
Rebecca talk about this because I gave it a 9 and she liked it even more than I did. So that should tell you.
I don't know if I'd put it at a 10, but I like it a lot.
Yeah.
There's first of all, the components are really fun for this game. For the type set, they actually have little wooden pieces and they're 3D, so they have the little square with the raised letter that's backwards, set up like you would set it in type for the game, and it's all vowels, and so you have a little pile of these, you know, that you're collecting and stuff. And I just love the way they did the pieces for that. And then the ink, they have little teardrop shaped colored little splashes of ink, and you have them in the bags, so you're pulling those out and putting those out. And then you've got the cards with the different jobs and stuff on them, and the art's really clear, so it's really nice to be able to see like what you do. The board's made in a progression, so you just start from the top and work your way down to the bottom of it, how you do each round. It's really nice and self-explanatory. And it's just it's one of those games where it's like lots of good choices. It's never a point where you're just totally out of something. You're just hosed. There's always something you can get or do as a backup plan. I really like games like that. So you start off and you get like your jobs. You can pick up jobs and stuff, and you can have up to 4 jobs with your little tableau thingy. And so you get those, and then you get to purchase your ink, and you can get a freebie ink, and then you pay a little bit more to get some more inks there. And so there's a little bit of, you know, bickering and back and forth with that, getting ink. And then you've got almost after the ink.
Advancing your skills.
Oh yeah, this is the other thing I like. Every round on your little player board, you get to advance a skill one way or another. They've got cards where you can do 2, but you kind of don't get a choice in that, or you could just forego getting the 2 and pick 1 to move up of your choice. And it had stuff like your points. Let's see, I'm trying to remember. There were like 6 different things you could raise 5 raise the levels for?
5 or 6 different things. So
yeah, it was like typography,
typesetting, woodworking.
It was all the different skills you needed to do the printing job. And it was just really cool because the more you can ramp those up, of course, once you get to the top 3 tiers, you're getting a certain set of victory points for those, of course. I had a really cool, and this is another thing about this game. Which game was that we first had?
Marco Polo.
Yeah, Marco Polo. The players have these great asymmetrical powers that are so strong. You're like, this is like game-breaking cool. Well, you have these abilities too in this game, and it's really neat. Mine happened to be that every round, one time, I could switch 2 of my scaled abilities. So I could strategically flip them, and all of a sudden, for this job, I need a level 4 thing. Well, I have that now, and I could fulfill a job and get all these crazy benefits and stuff from that. And what'd you have? You had a really cool benefit too.
There's gears in the game that you're rotating that give you superpowers.
That is
and
so
normally
cool.
you can trigger each gear on your board. You can have 3 different gears once. I could trigger the same gear twice.
Yeah.
So
which is good. You give victory points.
Yeah. Some of them give you victory
Powerful.
points, so I can just trigger that twice and get double victory points for that.
Yeah.
Thing.
I didn't even talk about the gears, and they have another fun little thing with the components is they have these cardboard gears, and each round you get to select some or not select them because you only get to put 3 on your player mat, so you get to choose wisely what you want to do. And each round you're going to crank it one little third of a way around. And so it's got like different abilities or freebies. Like I had one where if I turn in a blue ink, I could get 2 inks of my choice back if it turned on to that one. And like you said, you had the thing where you got victory points if you fulfilled a certain kind of order or something like that. And it had all these really cool things that you can do. And if another one comes along and you think's cooler, you just switch them out. And so there's always like something going on with it. You wanted to play and do different things, and it was one of those that's really fun to experiment and try different things to see what's going to work, what's not. I loved it. I loved it so much. I'm trying to see. Is it hard to teach?
It's
got a lot.
It's a mid to heavy Euro game.
Yeah, it's heavy, but the nice thing is once you explain it to everyone, the board really leads you through the rounds, which
Right.
is really nice. I mean, it just is one stage, one stage, one stage, one stage. Okay, we're done at the end of the round, reset. Once you learn how everything works, there's no way you can really screw it up, which is great. And the pieces are fun. I don't know. I think it'd be worth it. It's one of those that
It's a mid-weight. I mean, I would consider maybe like Lorenzo or what else? Games we got.
5 Tribes.
5 Tribes, Yamatai. It's that kind of
Yeah.
what I consider mid to heavy Euro.
Yeah.
Um,
And it's just it's fun.
well,
It's
I,
really
she
fun.
didn't even
Smooth.
mention she didn't even mention my favorite part of the game, and that is it's an action selection game. So you have these different actions you can do. Basically, you get a bunch of cubes that are called initiative cubes. Like I think the start player gets 7, the next player gets 8, and the next player gets 9, and so forth.
That's true.
And you
That's
basically have
fun,
this
too.
act. You have all the actions on a little board that you're secretly putting little cubes in to decide which ones you want to do. So you basically say, I want to do this action, but whoever puts the most cubes on a particular action gets to go first. So if I really need a certain color ink and there's only one of that color out there, I need to go first in that. So maybe I'll put 3 of my action cubes
Yep.
on that one spot. But then this other action, maybe I don't need a new gear. I like the gears I have. Maybe I'll put none of my action cubes on that, and I won't even take that action. So you get to decide which actions you want to take and how important that action is for you to take. And the further you are from the start player, the more cubes you get to work with, and this is going to rotate. So in our game, Rebecca had 7. She was a start player. I had 8, and then that just kind of swapped back and forth. So I'd have more cubes to work with
Yeah.
one round, but then the next round she had more cubes to work with.
Yeah,
so
it was great.
it was really cool
It kind
because
of gives you a almost like a race for the galaxy vibe on the actions you get to
Right,
pick
right.
and stuff, but cooler than that.
Right.
Because you got to do everything.
Well, I mean, yeah, if there's one card out there that I don't really care about, either one's fine with me. Maybe I just put 1 cube. But then, like I said, I really want to do this. Go first.
Yeah, you're
on
gonna
this
put a
one.
bunch
I'm
of
gonna
cubes
put,
there.
put a lot of cubes on that one. So
Oh,
that's
it's
a really
great.
cool. I've never seen that kind of, and putting weight on how important an action is to you, and that's kind of a really cool.
Yeah, it was
little
really
thing.
neat. Good one. It's a good one.
All right. Last but not least, my
Of
favorite
course.
game I played.
Oh, geez.
And I've played it before. And we're going to have to talk quickly about this game because we can't go too in detail about how this game went. So
All right, hurry up here.
I'm just going to say the game,
Oh my gosh.
and then we'll just move
so
on.
dumb.
And that is
Okay.
Indonesia. Rebecca beat me at Indonesia. She beat me at a heavy economic strategy game.
I did. And it was late.
I'm losing my touch, folks.
It's all good. It's all good.
No, she did really good. She did amazing. She was like on. She
I was.
on.
I
As they
don't know
say,
how.
she was on like Donkey Kong.
Woo woo. Yeah, it was a good game.
She did really
a
well.
fun game.
Indonesia is a blasty blast. It's a heavy splatter.
It is a grandmother's tablecloth.
It is a splatter game through and through. It's one of those games that has a few pages of rules, but the depth of the game
Oh,
is
it's
just
ridiculous.
mind-blowing. The choices and the decisions and the things going on. It's got companies. You're buying companies, and you're merging, and you're shipping goods, and it's just a crazy, big, heavy economic game. And that's okay because I had a blast. I love this game.
No, it was a lot of fun.
love this game. It's not a game you're going to play all the time.
No.
It's
I don't think I
it's
can
one of
handle
those
that.
once or twice a year kind of games that you play at a convention.
Yeah, it's heavy.
And
Heavy.
I had a blast. We had a
Josh.
Josh.
Josh was awesome.
We had a
I thought Josh
I'm
had
trying
the
to think
game.
of this is on Board Game Geek stats or the board game stats. They call it anonymous players. We had an anonymous player.
But that was
Tommy scheduled this for the Board Game Geek convention. We played it late, not too late. Started like 8:00 Saturday night, and we had a blast. It was great.
awesome
Josh
fun.
was into it.
I swear he had
in
the
these
game. I
pickup
thought he had the game.
in
man.
these pickup games, you have you're rolling the dice to see who you get. And when Josh was amazing,
Josh was the winner. Everyone
was great talking. We were talking smack, and everybody's going back and forth. It was a great game, and Rebecca won.
Yeah, it was crazy.
But it was close. It was really close. Everybody was in shooting range of winning.
Yeah, I thought
Except
that I was
maybe
probably
Tommy.
going to lose.
Maybe Tommy was.
Dang,
No, right.
talking
all the scores were
smack.
close. All the scores were close.
Yeah, it was. That was the fun thing too, is we all were kicking butt and taking turns on that. So
Yeah, it was really good.
pretty cool.
So the anonymous Josh rushed out to an early lead. We all beat him up, and then Rebecca won.
Which was very fortunate because I was really struggling to balance that.
Well,
towards the
you
end, 'cause
were
I had a shipping company that was great, and Josh merged it and took it from me.
Yeah, but you
And
at
I was
the
like,
end of the
I'm
game,
dead. But I started
at the end of the
coming
game,
back,
all
baby.
your companies were merging. You were involved with all the mergers, and you were just cranking in the funds.
I got the money.
And yeah,
Yep.
no, I had a blast. It was awesome. I love this
No, it
game.
was fun. It was fun.
I love this game. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Yep.
I was unsure how much you would like it.
Yeah, because it's heavy.
It's a big boy. It's a slaughter game. And
Yep.
slaughter games are big games. All right, so a couple games we didn't talk about, but I want to talk about because we talked about the Kenner Spiel games, and I liked Auction Clever the least. Magic Mountain the next, and then the most I liked the most was Quacks and Company. For the Spiel, I liked Scout the least, and then Top 10, and then Cascadia. The Kinder, which is the
No,
heavy
Kenner.
games,
Kenner.
Kinder's the kids.
Kenner.
The Kenner games, Kenner Spiel games.
Kindergarten.
Uh,
I don't think they control ours.
Kenner games, I like Cryptid the least, and we did not play the other two because we had already played them previously, so we didn't play those. Living Forest, I like that the second most. I give that one a 7. But one I like the most, and it's hands down not even close, is Dune
Imperium.
Dune Imperium.
Yep.
It's in my top 10 favorite games of all
Period.
time.
Yep.
I think it should win.
Living Forest wasn't bad.
But I don't think it's going to win because it's way too heavy to win the Kenner. It's going to be Cryptid is going to win the Kenner.
You think so?
Kenner.
You think it's gonna be Cryptid?
Kenner Spiel. I think it's going to be Cryptid. It's going to win the Kenner Spiel. I think Dune Imperium, it's super popular. It's super loved and liked.
But it is heavy.
It is
Yeah.
heavy.
Yeah.
It is super heavy, even for the Kenner. Because if in the recent years, this like the past decade or so, the games that used to
Yeah,
win
it is
the
horrible.
Kenner Spiel win the Spiel now, and the ones that used to be recommended like too heavy are now in the Kenner category, and then the
Okay.
super duper heavies are even not even recommended anymore. So I think it's going to skew lighter. I think the lighter games are going to win the Spiel and the Kenner Spiel. The kids' game is kind of up in the air. I think Quacks will win it because Wolfgang Wurst wins everything. He's got he's got 2 of the 3, so he's going to win
Right.
one or the other probably.
You're right, Tommy, though. I mean, like Dune, Cryptid, and Living Forest, they're all good. They're all good games, so it's not like it's a...
Yeah, they're all good.
Which is nice to see for once, because usually there's like some you're like, oh, I don't want this to win, you know, but I like all 3 of them. Corlu was asking, non sequitur, have you played Istanbul, the dice game? We have not.
We have not. But we love Istanbul so much. We're really
so
hesitant.
hard to-
We've got burned so many times on the dice
Dice
games
games, and we're
versions of stuff because we buy it or we play it and
We
we're
don't
like
like it as
we like
much.
the other game better. So we just kind of don't really do those anymore.
we're-
I've heard good things about it, but we love Istanbul is like one of our favorite
Yeah.
games. So
Yep. Like collectively, it's one really highly ranked, so.
we talked
Yeah.
forever. I knew we would.
We hadn't even talked about the shelves. Should we do a special for Hidden Keep and others? Like a special like shelf show and tell thing? Like a little tour of the room, as it were?
I can give a well, let's do a couple quick things. We're gonna fly through these real quick.
Okay.
So
okay.
free games we got at the con. We got this Twin It. I don't know what it is. We got this Legacy of the Testament of Duke de Crecy. We got that game free. We got Zapotec. We got that for free. We got Imaginarium. We got that for
That was
free.
interesting too.
We got Wingspan. We got
Wingspan, you guys.
We got Wingspan. We got all those
I
for free.
love Wingspan.
All those are free games we got. We got some, duplicates of some of these games.
And you didn't
too.
talk about my
Oh, the other charity auction thing we got. We go a bit lower.
Pyramid Arcade.
Yeah, charity auction. We got that at the charity auction as well.
I like this one.
And then
we had a lot
Rebecca
of fun. with the kids
got this.
Hey, I had that up in the closet.
Rebecca got this.
Yeah, baby.
She bought this thing,
yeah.
whatever this is.
It's a
And then
sweatshirt.
Nessa got this.
Yeah.
This is the Board Game Geek spring shirt. There you go.
Sweatshirt.
That's free stuff. We flew through that.
Sorry about that mic, guys. Oh my goodness.
We're going fast because
It's late.
It's already late.
You're a little chitter chatterbox. Chatterbox.
All right, so to go over the shelves quickly, we may do a true video.
Yeah, 'cause that'd be
This is
fun.
what I decided to do, kind of categories of games. So you can't see it. You guys want shaky cam, or you guys want me just to point off camera?
Point off camera, and then we'll do a shaky cam.
So up at the very top, we got my economic games. Like we got like industrial economic stock market games way up top. You probably can't even see them. They're up top. Like games like Arkwright and Power Grid and Acquire and Energy Empire and stuff like that's up top. Then over here, this section over here that's probably out of view again. Can they see those?
The top row?
Can they see-
No.
All right, so the top row over here, this
There's
fantasy
no
game.
Monopoly.
We got all the fantasy games. So we got games
We'll
like
show.
Tyrants of Underdark and Mystic Vale and Lizard Wizard and Clank and Role Player and those kind of fantasy games over here. Then on this side over here, there's a tiny little section. You may be able to see the edge of it. It's farming and animal type little games that aren't on Rebecca's shelf. We'll get to that in a second. Then we got like adventure games over. These are like adventure games through here. We got like Merchants and Marauders, Endeavor Age of Sail, Colt Express, Dead Reckoning.
We didn't play that again.
Loma, all kinds of adventure-y style games. Then off over here on this side, we got all the space and sci-fi games. I don't know if you can even see those. Very
Not
edge
really,
of it. So this section over here is space and sci-fi,
Yeah,
all down the right side of the
best
thing.
part of the board game shelf right there.
Then in the middle, we got kind of, I don't want to say civilization. What's the proper thing? Like historical
Adventuring games.
No,
Travel.
No, it's like different areas, like different time periods in other regions. So we got like Yedo and Elysium and Goa and Orleans and all the T games are right. All the T games are right here. So those kind of civilization-based games all through here.
Yep.
And then
following.
the next row down here, this is all the
Of
felds
felds.
and all the uves. So all the uves through here and all the felds over there. Then we got
on that side of Coliseum.
over down here. This is my catch-all like modern stuff. So we got like Alma Mater and Godfather and Tricarion and Networks and Democker, kind of real-world modern type games. Then we got true Civ games down here at the bottom. We got Tapestry and Dominations and Through the Ages and Civ stuff. Then right here we got my World Series of board gaming games right here, so I can
New
get
York
to them.
Zoo's on a different shelf. Don't worry.
Huh?
New York. Someone was asking about New York Zoo. It's on another shelf.
So this is these are all the heavier games, or all these.
Yeah, this is all the heavy games.
Then down at the very bottom, you can't see
It's
at the
only a
very
couple
bottom
hundred.
row are Dudes on the Map games.
Rising Sun, Onk,
Rising Sun, Ankh,
Lords of Hellas,
Lords of Hellas,
Cyclades.
Dudes on the Map game. Then we got train games down here at the very bottom. We got
I like that you put Raccoon Tycoon.
I put Raccoon Tycoon. So I got Raccoon Tycoon, the
18XX
18XX games, the brass games, and
Crazy.
things like that.
Crazy.
And then I got all the Paladins and the all the West Kingdom and games are over all together too.
Zeros wants to know what games are in the fireplace. Well, let's see.
Then off camera, we got Rebecca's shelf. So her a lot of her faves are over there.
My faves that aren't here.
But the like kind of the lighter games that she loves.
Although there's a
are
bunch
there.
over there too.
And then over here,
Party Family.
these are family and nature themed. The rest of the nature
Oh, you put the
themes.
nature theme over there.
So we
now.
got Meadow and
Ooh.
Wingspan and Papillon and
Papillon.
Mariposa and all those games are over there.
Okay.
We got the games that Hunter doesn't play. All the co-ops and Hidden Trader tile co-op
like that
games
stuff.
are all over there.
Something wrong with
And then we got abstract games way down here at the bottom.
Interesting.
Then over here, and let's see, we got lots of games. Over here on this shelf, we got all the small box games. There's a whole shelf of small box games. We have our shelf of shame straight in front of the camera, like right behind the camera is the shelf of shame games. And then off to the side are all the big
Heroes
box.
of Land, Air, and Sea.
All the
War
big
of
box
Ring,
games.
Western
The ones that don't-
Legends, Lacerdas.
Ones that don't fit on Calyx shelves. So yeah,
Yeah.
like she said, War of the Ring, Battle of Five Armies, all the Lacerda games.
Meadows over there, yeah. nature.
Merchant's Cove, the Anachrony big box game, just the big giant box games are on that shelf.
Yep.
And then
Oh.
and then in another room down the hallway, we have all the kids' games. So
Yeah. Okay, so how is your practicing going for the marathon?
I've only practiced one game. I've practiced Splendor to death. I think I'm pretty good at Splendor. I'm not great. I got to get to great. I'm at pretty good. The other games I haven't even touched, but I think I figured out Dune Imperium, how I'm going to play that. I need to try it out a few
we're gonna
times.
start doing that.
I pretty much figured out my strategy. I'm not going to say what my strategy is because someone might be watching.
Dun dun dun.
No, my strategy is
Totally.
it's the money strategy. Get lots of people. People think, oh, it's going up the little tracks, it's fighting the wars. I think the strategy is
Giving away your strategy, or
I don't
is
care.
this, or is the poison
No
clearly in front of me?
No one's gonna know.
Oh, they're scoping everybody out now.
But getting building a money strategy, got lots of money,
Okay.
and buying those cards that give you points.
What you Smokey?
I mean, you're doing other things as you go along, but buying those cards that give you points, those are crazy powerful.
Okay.
So,
Interesting.
but I do need to practice. And the one I most need to practice, I'm feeling comfortable about Splendor. Obviously I need to do more, but I feel comfortable about Splendor. I feel comfortable about Dune. Dominant Species, that's the one I gotta work hard on. And what's the other one?
Raw.
Raw. I feel pretty good about Raw. I'm pretty good at auction games. So yeah, there's work to do. But what I'm going to do is, besides playing as much as I can, I'm also going to set up games, 4-player games, and play all 4 players and try different strategies and make notes. Yes, I'm crazy that way. Make notes. Okay, I'm going to try this strategy with this player. Player 1, I tried this strategy. Player 2, I tried this strategy. Player 3, I tried this strategy. Player 4, I tried this strategy. Okay, this one sucks. Don't ever do that strategy again. And work my way through that.
Are you gonna put stuffed animals in the spot like you did when?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'll be playing. I'll be playing against Drake. I'll be playing against Wishbone, and I'll be playing against myself, and I'll be playing against Rebecca.
I'm apparently a stuffed animal now. Yes, I find it interesting too, Tommy, that the co-ops are very close to the fireplace.
The co-op.
I think that was
are
unconscious. That was a subconscious decision.
Really
on your part
close
that
to
you,
the fireplace.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
They can just go right over into
Mm-hmm.
No, there's
Oh yeah, mirror shades.
most of those co-ops I would actually play. So that's why we still have them. But
Hunter's gonna be the meme from Beautiful Mind. He's gonna have pins and yarn and everything. Yep. That's
probably
that's the game room coming up. Oh man.
But there's something I've been doing that I've never done in games. I'm sure there's people who've done this, but like in a deck building game, have you ever just gone through all the cards, just one after the other, and look at them to know what's in the deck? I've never done that, but you're gonna have to do that if you know.
Yeah, you want to know what
you know what what works well with each other.
That's true. I didn't think about that.
I've never done that. Like took the Clank deck and just looked at all the cards.
I haven't done that.
I've never done that, but I have now.
The only time I've ever done something like that would be with CCG, for obvious reasons.
Well,
like
yeah,
knowing,
that's
like,
different though. That's different.
But yeah,
though,
I mean,
'cause
like,
you're building a deck out of those cards. Right?
Yeah. But wow, that's interesting.
But yeah,
Sometimes
I've probably played 200 games of Splendor at this point.
that's insane. And I thought my like 75
I've
plus
probably
plays
played
of
200
Deception
plus
Murder in Hong Kong
games of
was a lot.
Splendor at this point.
That's wild.
About half against real people and half against computers. So.
Wow.
And I'm
crazy.
against the computer on the Steam version against the computer. I never lose anymore. But against players, if I play on Board Game Arena, I win 90% of the time. If I play on Steam against ranked people, I get my butt handed to me.
Yeah.
I win maybe a quarter of the time. So I know I'm not there yet. I'm better, but I'm not there yet. They did, but I'm learning. The thing again is playing again. The way you learn how to do a game really, really well is to play against people that are better than you.
Oh yeah.
And so I'm mostly playing on Steam.
Yeah, because you won't play me.
Well, I won't comment on our last 2 plays.
You be quiet, sir. I play to have fun. That is obvious. I am not playing to win.
But
I just
all right. So we've been going for
a really long time, and you
this
guys
may
are
be
sticking
one of
with us
our
because
longest
you're all
shows
amazing.
ever.
What?
So 1 week from tonight, we're going to get back into the top 10 game. We're going to kick it off in a big way. We're doing our top 10 2021 games revisited. So we're doing this a little.
I'm so stoked.
We're doing this a
gonna be
little
great.
bit earlier than normal, but I figured that I don't think In the next month, we're going to be playing a lot of 2021 games again. So I think it's
No, we're gonna be wanting to play
it's a
stuff
good-
off of our list.
it's a good time to
It's true.
do it.
It's true.
There is
Let's go.
5. I looked.
Let's
There's
go.
5 big name games that I've played and you've played as well that we hadn't played the last time we got our list.
Oh, this
So
is exciting.
So I think our lists
Okay.
are going to get mixed up quite a bit. So
Right?
that's that.
There you go. This is gonna be fun, peeps. Yes, and we did. We have to make up for all those episodes we missed. It's true.
We do.
We are gonna be hitting the games hard because it's
I-
summer.
Just before an hour before this show happened, I put the last game back on the shelf.
He did. He actually finished this today. It's amazing.
All the
It was
games
mostly
are
empty.
back.
Mostly empty.
All the games.
until
Yeah, when
today.
I started this morning,
hardcore, guys.
there was only about 30 games on the shelf, and now there's 500 games on the shelves. So I did a lot of work today.
Good. I'm proud. Very
We'll
proud.
see you next time for our top 10 2021 games revisited.
Great to see y'all again.
Oh, I forgot to do my thing.
Your thing.
I almost ruined the tradition.
Oh, do we have a tradition?
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like. Click subscribe to join our wonderful viewer community.
Want to be notified when we upload a new video or go live? Click on the little bell below.